Welcome back to the video lecture series on the course microprocessors and microcontrollers. So in this video we are going to discuss about the timing diagram for opcode fetch machine cycle. Here the timing diagram means for executing each instruction, the time taken to executing each instruction is represented in a graphical format called timing diagram. So in this video we discussed about how much time taken to complete the opcode fetch operation in 8085 microprocessor. So this is the timing diagram. Timing diagram is a graphical representation for opcode fetch machine cycle of 8085 microprocessor. In 8085 microprocessor, the opcode is fetched from the memory locations. Opcode means operational code. Short form of operational code is called opcode. The opcode is fetched from the memory locations and the microprocessor decodes it and executes the instruction. So before decoding and executing the instructions, the microprocessor first fetches the opcode. So this is the first machine cycle of every instruction and it finds the type of nature of the instruction to be executed. So once the opcode is fetched from the memory locations, it only decides the nature of the instruction to be decoded and fetched in the next machine cycle. Here in this timing diagram, the length of the machine cycle is T4. For opcode fetch machine cycle, the length is not fixed. It based on from 4 T states to 6 T states as per the instruction we are using in the 8085 microprocessor. In 8085 microprocessor, we have different set of instruction. For example, considering move A, B, so this is one of the instruction. You take it as move A, B. So this is one instruction in 8085 processor. Here move is an short form. MOV is used to transfer the data from one memory location to another memory location. The short form of move instruction is MOV, that is mnemonics. This particular instruction will perform, it transfers the data from B register to A register. So AB represents register, A means accumulator and B is one of the type of register. The size of this two registers is 8-bit. The function of this instruction is to transfer the data from B register to A register, that is from source to destination. The B register is source and the A register is destination. For performing this particular instruction, how much time the microprocessor takes to complete this particular instruction is represented in timing diagram. Represented in graphical format is called timing diagram. Here the microprocessor fetches different type of instruction. The opcode fetch means we have different type of instruction and different type of opcodes. The microprocessor fetches first the opcode and decodes it and executes the instruction. So it performs the it decides the nature of the instructions which is going to be performed. So I am taking opcode fetch machine cycle of 8085 processor. So in this timing diagram we have different types of signals. Already explained in the previous video the representation of signals for clock, higher order address bus, lower order address and data bus, ALE signal, input output memory signal and S1 S0 status signals, and last one is read signal. So this decides the type of operation to be performed. When IO/M is 0 and S1 1 and S0 1 means here a opcode fetch operation takes place. So this is the opcode fetch operation. We have 4 T states in this timing diagram. Here the length is not fixed, it varies, depends upon the instruction we are fetching in the 8085 processor. So it varies from T4 states to T6 states. Here I am taking T4 states for this opcode fetch machine cycle. So the first signal is clock signal and second one is higher order address and third one is lower order address and data, fourth one is ALE and next one is input output memory S0 and S1, and last one is read signal. Let me explain this graphical representation in one by one, that is T states, state T1. First we take T state 1. In state T1, the 8085 microprocessor, it places the contents of program counter in the address bus. That is, it loads the status of the contents in the address bus. The higher order address bus A15 to A8 represents higher order address bus of the program counter is placed on the A8 to A15 address lines, and also lower order address and data lines. Here the data lines and address lines are multiplexed. So, in order to demultiplex these address and data lines, we have to use ALE signal. This ALE signal is used to demultiplex this address and data lines. When this signal is high means it carries address, and when this signal is low means it carries data. So, during T1 state of this timing diagram, that is during T1 state of 8085 microprocessor, the higher order address bus is enabled. So, this cross symbol represents it is enabled. So, during T1 state, the higher order address bus is enabled and it remains active at the end of the T3 state. Already explained this concept in representation of signals. The higher order address bus is enabled at the beginning of T1 state and till the end of the T3 state, and the lower order address bus is active at the T1 state, and the address latch enable signal also active at the T1 state, and it goes slow during the rest of the T states, that is T2, T3 and T4 states. And this signal, this is the status signal, and this signal is active at the beginning of T1 state and remains active at the end of T states, and remains active till the end of T4 states. And the write signal is activated at, this is active low signal. So, it is activated during the T2 state and T3 state. So, it is activated during T2 and T3 state. For remaining T1 and T4 state, it goes slow. So, this signal is active low. So, it is activated during T2 and T3 states. Again I am repeating the concept. So, during T1 state, the higher order address bus is enabled and lower order address bus and data bus is enabled, and the address latch enable signal is also activated, and status signal is activated, and read signal is active high in this state because the read signal is active low. So, it is enabled during T3 and T4 states. And in the second T state, the higher order address bus remains active and the lower order address bus, here the lower order address bus, that is A0 to A7 disappears, and only the data is available in the T2 state, that is D0 to D7. Here the address latch enable also disables during T2 state, and the status signals is active during all the states. And here in this T2 state, the RD signal is enabled because RD signal is active low signal. So, here the RD signal is enabled to transfer the data to this opcode, that is D7 to D0. Here the 8085 sends RD signal low to enable the addressed memory location. The memory devices then place the contents in the address memory location on the data bus, that is D0 to D7. Here the RD signal is enabled to place the address of the memory location in the AD7 to AD0. Here the opcode is placed in the D0 to D7 locations, and in the T3 state the higher order address bus remains active and the opcode also remains active, and the ALE signal is disabled and the status signal is active during this T3 state. And in the T3 state, the RD signal goes high. Here see this line, the 8085 loads the data from the data bus, the instruction register, that is in its instruction register and rises RD signal to high, which disables the memory device. During the T3 state, the RD signal disables the memory devices. So, in T4 states, the microprocessor decodes this operation and it decides to enter into next T states or not, that is T5 or T states. It depends on which type of instruction it receives from the memory location. So, based on that address, it will decide whether the next T states is required or not. For some of the instruction, we need another T states. For some particular instruction, we need only T4 state. So, based on the instruction the microprocessor received from the memory location, the T states will extend to the next clock pulses. So, these are about the opcode fetch machine cycle. So, once again explain the concept. So, in T1 state, the higher order address bus is active at the beginning of this T1 state, and the lower order address bus and data bus also activated at this beginning of T states, and the ALE signal is activated during T1 state, and the status signal is activated during beginning of this state, and the RT signal is high during this state. And in T2 state, the higher order address bus remains active, and in T2 states the address bus disappears and the data bus takes place, and the ALE signal goes slow, that is deactivates, and the status bus remains active in this state, and the RD signal is active because the RD signal is active low. It is activated in this T2 state and it transfers the data from microprocessor to this memory devices, that is opcode, and here the opcode fetch operation takes place, and during the T3 state the higher order address bus remains active and the data bus operation also takes place, and the ALE signal is deactivates and the status signals is also activated, and this T3 state the RD signal goes high and it disappears the memory location. The opcode fetch operation completes here, that is the microprocessor completes the opcode fetch operation and decodes and executes the instruction accordingly. So, which type of operation we are fetching from the memory location, that means the microprocessor fetching which type of operation from the memory location. So, based on that instruction we have to use other T states. So, for opcode machine cycle we need T4 states to T6 states. So, based on the instruction which is received from the memory location, the opcode fetch machine cycle uses the another 2 states or not. So, these are about the timing diagram for opcode fetch machine cycle. Thank you for watching this video.